Okay guys, today's project, you guessed it, has to do with the 6x6. You can see I'm making a frame back here. That is for a back window. The back window that I plan on using is a brand new, well, it's not brand new, it's a used window, but it's one of the lock and ride windows for the new 900 Rangers. This is one with the sliding glass window. It's about a $700-800 window, I believe. I got it way under that. Found it used. I guess it was on a crew cab. Doesn't really matter that they're the same crew cab or the regular ones. If you're not familiar with the new 900 stuff, it clamps on. It's got two deals on this side. I'll just show you. One deal on that side. That tag is in the way. And then you got handles that actually lock it in place. That's the top. It's upside down. So you can pull these on and off really easy. You just flip them levers and pull it off. Like I said, I got a deal on this, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make me a frame here on the bar. I'm using 3-inch. I believe this is eighth inch thick. And then I'm going to have to make a deal on the inside for holding that the piece that holds on here. Plus it'll strengthen this. And then I've got another 3-inch going up, and then 1.5 inches up there. Again, up there I need to put something on the back side to clamp onto. I'll show you as I go here. But this is kind of the basic design. I'm just welding this right to the roll bar. And actually, I've got it one piece straight across, but it's straight. And it's actually sunk in. You can see where it's actually just even with the bar. Even with the bars, so that's kind of nice. I need to get this back window done and this panel down here done before I can do my roof. So hopefully by the end of the night here I'll have a functioning back window, hopefully. Okay, I got my top piece here that was clamped up there. I got it down here on the welding table. I've got a piece of 3/8 key stock, I believe is what they call that. I've got that welded to that panel. This is going to give me a little strength to this piece. And another thing it's going to do is, this is the top piece, and these clamps right here are going to clamp onto that piece. So that piece needs to be 3/4 of an inch thick, or not 3/4, 1/2 inch. This is 1/2 inch square tubing, and you can see it is the same height. So you take the 3/8 and then the 1/8 inch, and you got your 1/2 inch that I need. Got it clamped to the welding table here to keep it from warping too bad. My experience, you really never can stop metal from warping when you're welding it, but especially this thin stuff here. But hopefully it's going to stay fairly straight here. I'll move on. Okay, so again, more pieces. Clamped to the welding table. Trying to keep this thin stuff from warping too badly on me. I gotta do the other side, then I'm gonna have to put it on the ranger there, weld it on there, but I'm gonna do this piece here, on here, and then it'll have to go on the ranger. It'll have to be welded on there from now on. Okay, so I got my legs on my top piece welded on, let them cool on the table, unclamped them. It did pretty good on that. You can see it did turn in a little bit. Like I said, I don't know, I've never been able to keep metal from warping just a teeny bit. So I'm getting ready to weld this onto the roll bar now. I've got my level here, making sure this is perfectly straight and straight with the bottom piece, because that's important, because this glass is flat. I don't want any kind of curvature or bowing on it. I don't want any kind of pressure on it, because it'll probably break if there's pressure on it, too much pressure. So I'm going to tack this in. I'm going to move over to the other side, clamp that straight and square, tack that on, and we will move on. Okay, so I got the inner brace here welded on. I got it. I had to do it in sections because this bar here is there, but this is the piece that the bottom of the window, it's got a little deal and it holds on to this. Getting ready to pull these clamps off here and actually give a test fit and see how all this is working out. Well, so there she is, installed. You see what I got there now. I'll show you the inside. Probably be able to show you a lot better now that it's installed. So there's the deals that hold the bottom. One over there. And then the top, you've got that latch. And you got another one over there. And these, my light's gonna fall over. These latch on like this. My roof is kind of getting in the way, so I'll have to make sure I leave enough room for my handle to go up. This roof is gonna go bye-bye as soon as I get to making a new one, but that's how she fits. I think it looks good. The sliders are gonna work all right. I'm gonna be able to get to them. I'm gonna be able to get to the latches here easily. Fits nice and snug. The seal looks real good all the way around. Looks nice and tight. I'd say so far success here. One thing I would like to have lowered the window down. You know, an inch and a half or something would have been nice. But for some reason, Polaris put this dip in here, and it's not a cosmetic deal. That's the seal goes there. So without making a whole deal down here, I had to leave this on the flat part. So it is kind of higher than I wanted it to be. But I think it's going to work out just fine. The dog might have a little bit of a hard time getting his head through there. I'm not sure. I think he'll be alright. So, now I got to figure out a deal right here on each side. I'm going to put a brace across here. And then I'm going to put another one across there on that, across from this bar there, and then I think it'll be good. I think it'll be nice and solid. And I'll probably then come in and weld. I'm not going to do a constant weld here. I'm just going to do some beads here across down here, and then I'll put like seam sealer in there to finish that off, because I don't think there's no sense in putting a constant weld all the way across that. Same with over here. I gotta figure something out what I'm doing here. But I think it turned out good so far. I got another deal I'm gonna run along the bottom of this, and that's not for the window here, but it's going to be for a panel that I'm going to stick here. Might make that out of aluminum, but that's another day. Here's the piece for it. I'm just going to weld it up in there, along there, 1.5 inches. Same stuff as this, 1/8 inch. So I'm gonna get to making some braces, figuring out what I'm doing with this. Probably do some finish welding, and then I'll be back. And then I might as well show you how the glass comes out for those of you that don't know. That's how the new lock and ride rear windows work. Okay, that's it for me tonight. I've got some panels made right here to fill up the gap because I've got a straight back now. Still got a little more work here to do. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with my roof before I can really button this up. So I've got this side done. I got my braces in there. I got this side on, and you can see the brace again right there. When I put them braces in, I warped the crap out of this top panel, and I had to pull this in and kind of reshape that top panel to get it straight again, but it looks pretty darn good now. It was bowed pretty bad. I didn't get my bottom piece in. I'll have to do that tomorrow, though. I'm tired, wore out now, so I think it's looking real good, turning out really nice. So I guess I'll come back, keep working on this tomorrow, and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so finally I got all my welding done. I've got it ground down mostly. I don't have it to where I can paint it yet, but I'm going to have to take it for a test drive first before I seal everything up and really start to get this thing ready for paint. I want to make sure there's no vibration or nothing that I wasn't planning on happening. So I'll probably give it a few days and drive it around. And I did get my bottom panel in, or bottom deal in. And again, that's really for the panel that's going down here. Has nothing to do with this top windshield, but I'm getting ready for that. I got the old top screwed back down. I still got to run that until I do make my new top. But I mean, it functions as a top. So once I get this rear all painted and situated, I'll start looking at my top. I had a bunch of plywood and stuff on the seat protecting it, and I only got a few little burn throughs from the welder, but it doesn't really matter. I've got something for these seats once I get a full cab anyway, so it didn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think it turned out really nice. Hopefully it's going to function as good as it looks here. I mean, it really, just looking at it, it's hard to even tell anything's been changed on it. I haven't lost any visibility. I mean, it's pretty much wide open. I may have lost a little bit on here, and then I've lost a little bit down here. But seeing down here doesn't do any good except for in the box there. So I just cleaned up the glass, getting ready to install it, letting it dry so it don't get my new steel wet, because I don't want to get it wet because then it'll start rusting in all the nooks and crannies and it'll be a nightmare to get it cleaned out. But yeah, let me get this window installed. We'll take a look at it. Okay, so there's the glass installed. It's getting approval from the boss. I got the windows slit open. Can you stick your head through there, buddy? Huh? Buddy, can you stick your head through here yet? There you go. You can stick your head through there, can't you? And like I said, pretty much no visibility lost with this setup. I am curious to see what the sound level is going to be like with that windshield or window back there. If it's going to vibrate a little more, bounce the sound off it. I'm not sure. We'll see, I guess. But it's a done deal except for the details now. Okay, so we got a couple days of test rides with it. Everything seems normal. No vibrations, no squeaks, no rattles. Actually, the roll bar might have a little less vibration in it. Must be because of the little bit of bracing and stuff done here. I think it stiffened up the roll bar a little bit. It might be that in combination with the front windshield. It's kind of stiffened up the whole roll bar a little bit. But noise, I don't really notice anything, I don't think. I guess now I got to kind of finish it up, clean up the welds, get my seam sealer on there, and get this thing painted. I think there'll be a part 2, I think, of me finishing this up. Maybe I'll add the rear panel in that video too when I do that, because I think it's getting pretty long by now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.